everybody, Maci here. So since it is exactly 100 days until VidCon, and to keep up with tradition, I decided to share with you guys another VidCon tips video. If you want a more in-depth video about VidCon, kind of like a handbook to VidCon, you could click over here, which is basically my video from last year, and I basically covered almost everything that has to do with VidCon, from what to wear, what to bring to VidCon, what to expect at VidCon, basically almost everything. And if you also want more ideas as to what you may want to wear at VidCon, I have my video of my lookbook from last year. Click over here. And I also have my VidCon 2015 and 2016 vlogs down in the description box below. So basically all of those links, if for some reason you kind of missed it, they're all down below, so don't worry. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, and let's get started. So first off, if you don't know this already, I definitely recommend registering the day before VidCon. I heard that lines can get pretty long, so if you register the day before, you basically get to enjoy some of VidCon's amenities beforehand, and you don't have to worry about it the day of. So my second tip is to check out the convention. Now I understand that a lot of people who do go to VidCon tend to go because they want to meet a lot of YouTubers, but what they probably don't understand is that this is a convention and there are a ton of booths that you can enjoy, probably get a lot of free things. Like I know I got like a ton of free things, lots of free shirts, free YouTube Red backpacks, there's like a ton of free things. Like honestly, don't forget that there's a lot of free things. Like I know, enjoy and try to find a lot of YouTubers because I know I do that too. Also, don't forget to check out the convention. So moving on to my third tip, basically just have an idea of where everything is at VidCon. So study the convention map, study the Marriott, like study the outside part of the convention, because the more you know where everything is in the convention, where everything is outside, the more likely you are to be able to meet a certain YouTuber. Because maybe, okay, so example, let's say Tide Levi happened to Snapchat like something outside the convention center, and if you know where that is, you can probably just like sprint over there and you are more likely to meet him. I don't know, that's like an example. Or like even with like VidCon update accounts, if they happen to like retweet or like tweet like, oh, this YouTuber is here, and if you know the background of that place, you can just go over there rather than like try hard to like walk around until you find that place. Does that make sense? So like the more you know like that background and like where that might be in the convention or somewhere around VidCon, the easier it is to basically meet that YouTuber. So tip number 4 is just to pay really close attention, because you never know when you might run into a YouTuber. So I understand that yes, you are going to be on your phone like basically all the time at VidCon, even though I do understand you should try to enjoy the moment, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to meet YouTubers if you don't go on your phone. You do have to pay really close attention, because you might meet a YouTuber that you really love if you just looked up instead of looking at your screen. Because that actually happened to me. Not that I didn't miss a YouTuber, but I know I met a lot of YouTubers just by actually paying attention, looking at my surroundings everywhere, and not glued to my phone. I know I met Casey Neistat because of that. I met Jim Chapman, most definitely. I met Jim Chapman because I was paying attention. I think I met Tide Levi that way as well. And basically just a bunch of YouTubers. Moral of the story, pay attention and you might be able to meet like your favorite YouTuber. Now this doesn't apply to every single YouTuber, it honestly depends, but usually it might be their own booth, like let's say they're selling like their own merch, or it might be some kind of sponsored booth, like maybe like a big brand name like NYX or like CoverGirl. Like I know a few YouTubers did their own like little meet and greet at their own booth, like I think Stacy Plays, and a couple years ago it was like at the Trixin booth, like the Shades or whatever. And I know some people would have a meet and greet at the sponsored booth, like CoverGirl for like Ingrid Nilsson was at the CoverGirl booth, and she did that like the past 2 years, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna do it again this year. So yeah, honestly, just pay attention. Sometimes the YouTuber might tweet about it, or at the booth, it might say there. I don't know, but just pay attention. But yeah, you can basically meet YouTubers at particular booths. Next up for my 6th tip, this basically goes out for all of you people who need to be a little bit caffeinated during VidCon, since it does take up a lot of energy. Just know that you might not be able to order ahead of time for Starbucks. I know that you can like order on your phone and you can just pick it up at the Marriott hotel or like the Marriott Starbucks, but I don't think it works. I don't know if it works then, but I kind of checked it ahead of time and they don't have it, so you're gonna have to order in person, and the lines can be pretty long. Honestly, depends on when you go, but I think the lines are about like 20 minutes maybe. It could be longer or shorter. Honestly depends, like I said. And so just make sure that your Starbucks card is loaded, because you are going to get a lot of rewards points because you're going to be really caffeinated. So yes. So moving on to tip number 7, if you happen to have a annual Disney pass, or maybe you feel like going to Disneyland for some reason, or like because you're in Anaheim and Disneyland is literally like across the block. Basically, if you do, like if you're really desperate to meet really big YouTubers, I definitely recommend going to Disneyland during VidCon hours, because a lot of YouTubers tend to go to Disneyland then, since they know that most of the fans are at VidCon, so they're less likely to get mobbed, if that makes sense. And yeah, I noticed that a lot of YouTubers like Ingrid, I think Tyler Oakley went to like Disneyland or something, like during VidCon, I don't remember, but there's like a lot of big YouTubers who do go to Disneyland, since they will not get mobbed as much, if that makes sense. Essentially, my point is, if you really want to meet a YouTuber that much, then you can go to Disneyland. It is pretty expensive, but it's worth a try. Or maybe not Disneyland, you can go to Downtown Disney. It's kind of the same thing, a little bit. So moving on to my 8th tip, basically if you want to meet a lot of YouTubers, just stay at the end of the convention outside, and there's a lot of YouTubers doing like tiny meet and greets. So basically on the last day of the convention, it closes around, or I mean every day it closes around like 6 o'clock, but on the last day, a ton of people are outside since you can't obviously go inside, and there are several YouTubers, like a lot of them outside, who are taking pictures with fans. I know Ty Levi was taking pictures with fans, so was Luke Corns, Mikey Murphy, a lot of like makeup gurus, I just don't remember their name right now. But there are a lot of YouTubers who do take pictures with fans outside at the last day, so don't leave before then, like try to kind of stay and you might see your favorite YouTuber, never know. Tip number 9, don't be afraid to take a break. Now I know trying to meet YouTubers and trying to take pictures with them is incredibly exhausting. Trust me, I don't even know how I did it. Like, I'm going into my 3rd year of VidCon, like what is life? But VidCon is very tiring, and so please take a break. Don't exhaust yourself trying to meet a YouTuber, because you're just going to kill yourself. Like, don't, no. There are tons of chairs in the convention and you can just rest there. But if you do still want to maximize your efficiency of meeting YouTubers, I definitely recommend either sitting, I don't know, it's like that long hallway between the convention and outside. So it's basically where it's like the glass doors to go outside, and this is a hallway, and these are like the expo halls. So I recommend, like, if you still want to be in the air-conditioned room and still maybe meet YouTubers, I recommend like staying there. Basically, just take a break and you might meet your favorite YouTuber, or at least see them in person. Now my last tip is gonna sound a little bit weird, but it's not weird if you think about it, because who doesn't want to look good in their selfies? Why wouldn't you want to have a really nice pose for your meet and greet? Because this thing is just once a year. You never know if you're gonna meet that YouTuber again. So basically, for my 10th tip and my final tip, practice your selfies, practice your poses for meet and greets, practice basically everything when it comes to pictures. Honestly, I mean, it is a little bit weird, but do know what your pose is going to be when you get like your meet and greet results. Like maybe Like, do you want a normal pose? Do you want like a hugging pose? Do you want like a squad pose? I mean, the like pose ideas are endless, and it does like kind of depend on the comfort level of that YouTuber. You don't know if he or she may not want to be like touched like in a hugging pose. So I mean, obviously you're gonna have to ask them ahead of time in a way, like before you take the picture, but do have a pose in mind just in case you have the opportunity to take like more than one picture, because I know it depends on like who's responsible for taking the picture during like a meet and greet. Sometimes if you're lucky, maybe you just like happen to meet a YouTuber like outside of a meet and greet, like maybe just in the outskirts of VidCon. Obviously, you probably only have one opportunity to take a picture because they might be going somewhere and you don't want to like disturb their day in a way. You only have like one opportunity to take like a selfie, and you don't want that selfie to look bad, just saying. You can like practice taking pictures of yourself, like know, is your best side your right side? Is it your left side? Is it your front side? Do you like this side, or maybe you want to approach from the left side? I mean, it's kind of weird, but if it really matters to you, most of the time you do want to look good in your selfie, and you might only have one opportunity, so make it count. So that's basically it for this week's video. Hopefully it helped you when it comes to VidCon, maybe gave you some tips and an idea of how it basically works. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it if you did. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can do so by clicking on my face over here, and be sure to turn on my notifications so you don't miss out on my videos. I try to upload once a week as best as I can because college life is kind of hard and I never really have time, but I will try my best because I love you guys. Also, like I said before, if you do want a few more resources on how VidCon is going to be, what you might want to wear, have an idea of what happens at VidCon, everything is down below. All my VidCon vlogs, there's like, I think there's like 8 in total, I don't know, or maybe 10. There's like a lot of them down below, and my VidCon lookbook if you want ideas on clothes to wear, what to wear basically, and like how the weather is going to be, because it is pretty hot in California, so yeah. And basically, if you want my in-depth video, down below, or you can just click on like that little thing that pops up somewhere here. But yeah, everything is down below. Honestly, it will really help you, and I feel like if it was like my first day at VidCon, first time at VidCon, like it would really help me a lot, just saying. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye!